Hello. I got some things I feel I need to tell you. I'm gonna start out by just telling you a story about myself. I was born in 1982 as a high functioning autistic. In 1982, nobody really knew what was going on. I didn't talk until I was almost 5. Went to bed until I was almost 10. And I never, ever understood what was going on with the adults in the world around me as I was growing up. I still don't. I'm going to tell you about it. So, my whole life from there, I was told I was too much. And I had a lot of energy. Couldn't stay put from a young age. Man, my parents would be trying to send me to church as a young child, and I wouldn't go. I'd just go into the woods and go do my thing. Wait until church was over and go home like I went. Only reason I survived my childhood is because 4 sisters. My 4 sisters raised me, while my parents, my boomer parents, selfishly chased money and things and ignored their children and what was going on with them. And I really do come from a family with a lot of smart kids, a lot of smart babies. And for some reason, it always seems systematic that the adults would beat creativity and intelligence out of us and tell us our thinking was wrong, especially my older sister. I was a fighter though, right? I really watched my sisters get it beat out of them by the family suppression, by society suppression, right? Just to make them conform. And I couldn't ever conform. So what I started doing from a young age was looking for answers. And I didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't. I just wasn't buying the shit, right? And it turns out with my autism, dude, I'm a different kind of cat. And I also accidentally didn't even know what I was doing as a child. I was just following instincts. And my instincts were wild, crazy, from somebody from the outside looking in at my behavior and what I was doing. I would walk the soles off my shoes looking for answers just because I was so young. I was hitchhiking probably from 11, 12 years old. I was hitchhiking around trying to figure things out, meeting people, talking to people. That was always my favorite thing, was talking to people. I was looking for answers. Not all the people. There's a good portion of people that I don't want nothing to do with. Like 70-80% of the world's population, I don't want anything to do with them. So I'm looking for answers as a child. I'm putting drugs in my system. What did I start doing? The ages of 12, 13. It was the summer between 6th and 7th grade. It's the first time I found psilocybin mushrooms. Man, I found something there. Cannabis too. Started changing some things with my world and my thinking, right? And I didn't know at the time this was what I was doing the whole time while I was a child, that I was trying to commit ego death because I didn't want it to exist in the reality that I was dropped in. I didn't understand why I was here. I never felt like I fit. Never. It was baffling to me what everybody did around me. I couldn't believe they chose to live like that. But slowly but surely, I was drinking it and being force-fed it. And I was still fighting. I would act like it on the outside. But inside, it doesn't change. What's in me is concrete. It's not going anywhere. It'll always be here. And through that journey, childhood, my family starts, I'm getting in trouble, right? Committing crimes. Juvenile detention. Suspended from school. They couldn't keep me in school. Shit. When I was in high school, middle school, they were still making us type on typewriters. In first grade, when they were trying to make me do mathematics, I already knew calculators existed. That didn't make sense to me. Why do you need me to learn this stuff? I have stuff to do it for me. Give me some higher learning. Give me something real. But I never got anything real. There was nothing there at the end of each path. With my autism and all the hallucinogenics I took through my childhood, I did something different to my brain. I know it's a beautiful thing. I remember while I talk about this, I truly feel like I am nobody. Nothing. And I love being there. It keeps me open. It keeps me strong. It keeps me moving. It keeps me looking. Seeking. Because I'm not buying it. I was never buying it. And I stayed quiet. And I masked. I masked forever. Nobody knew who I actually was. I didn't share real thoughts. I lived most of my life, my whole life, because of this brain and the different parts it seems I can operate in at any given moment, whatever my survival instincts are telling me to be. Whatever my survival instincts were telling me to be. I didn't know why. I didn't. I just knew for survival I had to do it. So I hid inside myself. 10% outside here in this reality. People didn't even know. I didn't listen to these conversations people were talking to me about. I'm from Western New York. How many times am I going to listen to somebody talking about the Bills over that shit? Not doing it. These meaningless, superficial conversations and interactions. What a waste of my time. And I was forced into all those conversations just to fit into society. Because if I didn't choose to fit into society, society turns its back on me every time. So, through outpatient treatment programs from a young age, Narcotics Anonymous meetings, AA, my family's just sticking me in all this shit. I can't even relate to the people in the meetings because I didn't do those things for the same reason for a lot of them. I know there's people in there that did it for the same reason, but they're hard to find. They hide very well. My Sigmas know how to hide. So they weren't easy for me to find. And I gotta tell you, I never found one. I do have one though. Probably two. Maybe three. My children. Just like me. Through and through. Strong. Highly intelligent. So brilliant. They're my favorite thing in this world. And it turns out as I was going through this, I'm sitting here trying to adapt to society, trying to eat it, trying to swallow it, trying to build a legacy that society told me I needed to build. And I went down all those paths because of my autism. And hallucinogenics changed my brain. I took a lot from those ages of 12, 13 up until probably 23, 25. I rediscovered them here lately. I'll tell you that in a little while. So, I'm just looking for answers, and I didn't know what I was looking for. The whole time, they're just telling me I'm wrong. Your thinking's wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. You need to change this. You need to change that. And the society and these people in my family, were always trying to attach me to things and trying to change what reality actually meant to me. And trying to tell me, no, you don't see that. I see it, and I always have. My pattern recognition. I've never seen anything like it. I'm starting this page because I got things I want to share. Some things with my pattern recognition. I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. I need facts. I only operate on facts. So until I have facts, everything's a theory. For sure. I don't like conspiracy theorists. Not at all. Only facts. So, I'm trying to stay sober, and I can. I can stay sober for years at a time. I can conform and be a good boy, but inside I'm dying. And I could only eat the garbage for so long until I, right? Boom. Gone. Leave. Right? And I didn't want it to be like that. Because I love myself. Not in an egotistical way. Again, I was always trying to kill ego. But I never wanted to kill myself because I love myself. A caring love. A sympathetic love. A woman's love. Fucking. My sisters. A total of 7 sisters. I have 3 stepsisters too, but I was raised with them. They're my sisters, you know. They saved me. They would read to me, talk to me about black holes, talk to me about wormholes, right? Read Stephen King, The Hobbit, you know. All my sisters teaching me. They knew. They knew something. They knew I was different. They knew about my curiosity. Oh, I was so curious. My curiosity over the years has got me on some government lists, I'm sure. I'm not a criminal, but I like being friends with criminals. I like learning from criminals. I like knowing what they know. I actually like knowing pretty much what anybody knows. If you know something that I don't, please come tell me. I want to know. So, I finally hit this point where, like, I stay sober for a while, right? I was 26. I get sober in Cincinnati. And I stay sober for 5 years. I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm doing things. I'm chairing meetings. I'm giving leads, trying to sponsor people. But none of it was real. I didn't buy any of it, right? I'm pretending. And I wasn't a good sponsor because I couldn't sponsor the guys because I didn't believe what they were telling me to teach them. I can stay sober as soon as I choose to. I still have to take actions. There's things I have to do, right? Especially with people and talking. But as soon as I choose to, I can stay sober, which is what I'm here doing now in Greenville, North Carolina. So I had to do it. I had to get sober. If I didn't, I was going to burn this thing down before I figured anything out. That's what happens. Edible cannabis and mushrooms all day long. What happens is my tolerance builds so high. I've been able to put a lot of poison in me over the years. My body, I can't even believe I'm not gone from what I put in it all these years. My tolerance with anything I put in it builds quickly, right? And my biggest problem, hard drugs. When I was younger, I was taking a lot of hard drugs. I didn't want to. Again, committing ego death. I hated them. I couldn't function, right? I just want to function in this world. I want to be creative. I want the ability just to exist, be creative, inventive. Not segregated. Here's the thing, guys. I know I have it better than most of the world's population. I know that. 100%. Way better than most of the world's population. I know where I'm at. But I never wanted to be here. I never related to those people. Never. Couldn't relate to them. Wasn't buying it. But I related to the streets. Always. Related to my people on the streets. It's where I always wanted to be. It's my favorite. Still is. Love the streets. Always want to be there. Always want to be there with my people. Sometimes I gotta conform, no. My resentment will build to a place to where I'll start burning it down. I've always had to suppress my energy. They always said it was too much. And so if I didn't have substances to suppress it, I had to use my own energy to suppress it. So I Couldn't be genuine. Could never be myself. I'm gonna fast forward here. It's when I woke up. I was 42. Let's see, 2021. I was not 42, but in 2021, I resigned from my family's business. I don't need to say much about it. I'm already way over past that. Toxic work culture, poor succession planning. Just not something I needed to be a part of anymore. Lots of infighting. Just little petty stuff, man. Baffling to me people even talk about this little, just nothing. It's fake. It's a fugazi, wazi, oozy. It doesn't mean anything. It's nothing. I never understood why it was so important to people. Never understood it. So I resigned from the family's business, right? I moved down to Raleigh, North Carolina. Go down there, I start truck driving. I switched jobs a lot through my life. I get bored in the first 2 weeks. I went to industrial deep sea diving school, and don't get me wrong, I don't like industrial deep sea diving. That was not cool. I don't trust other people with my life, and it's surface supplied air. The guy I was smoking crack with the night before is taking care of my air supply. I'm not doing that. But very quickly, I go through school, graduate, go see that it was not a direction, not a real one, right? And then switch, go to another school, go do something else, and on and on and on and on. I love living that way. I love learning. I will continue doing it the rest of my life as long as I can. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world. Learning and understanding. Mostly understanding. And what's been most important to me through this is understanding people. I don't understand these people in this world. Not the ruling class. I understand everybody else. So, being born with so much empathy, having the ability to put myself in other people's shoes, all of it, I knew in 2021 I was not working for that business anymore. I went down to Raleigh, truck driving. Got down there and realized that wasn't real. Started really seeing the world my children were going to be getting raised in, and the education they were going to get force-fed that was nonsense, useless. And I have brilliant children. Right now, this country is wasting their time. It's wasting their creativity, their intelligence. It's wasting it all intentionally. It's all systematic. I see it. Always have. I just couldn't put my finger on it. Hence my awakening. 42. So, alright, this is where it kind of gets a little serious. So I'm falling apart. I'm driving Uber here in Raleigh. Like 7,000 people I got to meet in a year. It was amazing. My most favorite job in the world, driving Uber, meeting people. Young. Actually, I was going to say young, old, but guess what? The old bother me. Not all of them. There's some really great, wise, older people out there that I met, but they're few and far between. So I'm falling apart, man, and I can't even pay my bills or nothing. I can't even make myself get out of bed and go to work. I'm drinking a lot. A real lot. Trying to commit ego death. Again, I didn't know that at the time. I really didn't. Just trying to figure out my world. And I can't pay my bills. And I meet this guy. Works at a gas station across, or not across, but down the road from me a little bit. And I go in there and buy beer a lot. And I'm not going to use his name. But I moved this guy into my house. And at the time I knew he was a drug dealer. I knew he sold cannabis, hash, some wax, things like that. But And that was just the tip of the iceberg. And it didn't take me long to read them. It really didn't. I probably had him read. I mean, he is talented. I'll tell you more about that too. He is talented, not as talented as me. But I read him, and it didn't feel right. The way he was doing business was like he was untouchable. He was doing things and making moves. I knew he was either going to get me rolled or he was working for the Fed. Pretty sure he was working for the Feds. I know he was. I'm going to get to it. So anyways, I read this. I pick up on it. I'm feeling the energy, man. I'm always in tune with this world's energy. I don't always understand it, right? I'm always trying to follow instincts. Sometimes it's very confusing. But I knew he was bad news. So he didn't know anything. He doesn't know much about my kids. He doesn't know their mother's last name. He can't find them, right? He wouldn't be able to find them. But so I go to Western New York and I pretend for a little bit, that like I'm okay with him, like, oh, acting like we're buddies and shit. And I get him to send me a pound of those funny little mushrooms. And he thinks I'm doing what he's doing, right? Like I'm gonna start moving around. That's not what I was doing. It was time for ego death. So I'm 290 pounds at this time, depressed, dying, borderline diabetic, type 2 diabetes, start having some severe prostate issues, feels like cancer, horrible stuff. I go start seeing doctors, man. They're putting me on pills. Yo, don't ever take Flomax. Yo, I'm going to tell you about this real quick. Yo, they put me on Flomax, and the first day, I rubbed one out, dude, and I ejaculated inside myself. It was the most disgusting thing that ever happened. Don't take Flomax. I really did. It was so disgusting. I peed out semen. It was horrible. Do not take that stuff. So, I'm so sorry that I told you that, but... So, anyways, look it up. It's a symptom. It's rare, but that happened to me. So anyways, that happened. I was like, I don't trust anything these doctors are doing. Nothing. All of a sudden, my trust of everything went out the window because of what's going on around me. I'm not trusting. I'm not buying, right? I'm going through these health problems. I start eating all those funny little things, right? And what starts happening, and I mean, committing ego death. At this point, I'm starting to realize what I'm doing with ego death. At this point, I am starting to pick up on some signs and things changing inside me. Perceptions. You know what? I don't have perceptions. I only have perspective. Right? One person comes at me one way, and I come at them in 100 different ways all at once. My perspective is something else. So, I'm eating all those mushrooms, committing ego death. And I drop so much weight. And I move out into a real wooded area, and I start hiking with me and my blue-nosed pit bull, Fig. Fig's been on this journey with me since the beginning, since we started. That dog has seen some things. That dog is in tune with me like no other animal I've ever had. That dog, it's another extension of me. It's another child. It's just another child. Fig. F-I-G, if anybody's wondering. Beautiful baby girl. So, I drop all this weight, right? I change my diet completely. Start going towards more hunter-gatherer, right? I'm eating meals the size of my fist every 2 hours. My metabolism skyrockets. I'm still eating edible cannabis, right? Because it's changing chemistry in my brain, and I'm eating all those funny little things. And it gets to a point, I move out deeper into a primitive campsite, state forest. I forgot to tell you why. I'm working for my family's business one day, just doing some outdoor cooking. And a vehicle pulls in. It's an old camper. Happens to look just like kind of the ones I was looking at a Facebook Marketplace a couple weeks or a month before. This gentleman gets out. Nice and lean guy, wearing sunglasses, Crocs, and socks. Real lean, standing square. Reminds me of a Secret Service agent, but he's not. He's probably with the Bureau. I'm pretty sure he's with the Bureau just because of his childlike tradecraft, you know? I'm real good at tradecraft. It's one of my favorite subjects, man. Being able to change my appearance. This is my first goatee I've ever had in my life. I love changing it all. But this guy, yeah, either a child came up with what he was doing when he pulled into that place, or maybe he's just not good at his job. But he pulled in and I clocked him. He came up and talked to me. I read him blind because he wasn't being genuine. Again, as soon as someone comes at me and they're not being genuine, I just read it. Don't even know how or why. I just pick right up on it. And then immediately I run. So I run out to East Auto Force. Like, all right, come and follow me. Right? Because I'm looking for answers, right? I don't want people to approach me. But I need them to come at me honestly. I'm not gonna mess with them if they don't come at me honestly. I'm gonna force them to come at me honestly. But so anyways, I get out to East Auto Force, and I'm not gonna get all wild on that, because again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, only facts. But there's facts out there, I'm just not even gonna tell you. But I'm pretty sure a different agency showed up out there for a while. But again, I'm not approachable. And Fig's totally tuned into my energy. She won't let nobody near me either, man. Oh, it's amazing. Always remember, train dogs. Imprint on them when they're young. 6 to 7 weeks old. Imprint on them. Imprint on them. Have them sleep in bed with you. Sit there and you just make them your world, just like they are a child. And guess what that dog will do for you? Right? But again, don't treat that dog as a slave. That dog is just another child, not a slave. So anyways, I'm out there. And I do something crazy. I take some red Gatorade and I pour it into the jar of those funny little substances I had. I don't know how much was in there. It's between 12, maybe somewhere around 12 ounces. And pour that red Gatorade in there, you know, because red pill, blue pill. And I let it sit for a day. And I pour 16 ounces of that liquid into a jar. Ounces were in that. Ounces. Down the hatch. And what happened there was an awakening that I've never had before in my life. I'm not going to tell you all about it, because it's insane. I'll just let you know that Fig, the imprinted, lovely child that loves me dearly and knows who I am, didn't trust me for like 4 months. I completely changed into something else, and something seemed to taken over me. It was wild. It was wild. And what I believe had something to do with it, of course, was the only God that ever mattered to us. And that was Earth. Anybody who doesn't realize that Earth is an intelligent being, you're out of your mind. Out of your mind. And you probably have an IQ over or under 98, which is like most of the world, which is really scary to me. Frightening. So that happens, and all of a sudden something changed in me. A centeredness, a peace, a clarity, an understanding. Something I never had before. I've never had it. Never had it. I did not think it existed. People think they find peace in Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or through therapy. I got something that I never got anywhere else. It's still in me. But as society and family does, I got talked back into society. I didn't mean to. kind of has to do with just who I am. You tell me to go, I'll go and look, right? And my older sister, of course, who I love dearly and means the most to me out of that part of the family, was scared for me because she came and saw me right after those deep mushroom dives. She thought I was in a psychosis, for sure. No doubt that from the outside, it was straight up psychosis. But inside, something else was going on. And brain patterns were being retrained and reshifted. Anybody that doesn't know about those funny little substances, you can grow your brain with them. I don't care if you don't believe me. It's pretty easy, actually. I especially know how to do it with young adults, 18 to 25. Yeah, my understanding of human beings, I've been studying you my whole life because I didn't understand you. Studying human beings and animals, the whole thing my whole life. Really is, man. I really kind of figured out I wasn't this, I wasn't that, I wasn't that. I'm just my world. That's it. That's all I am. I'm just my world. Nothing else. But this place keeps trying to make me something else. And bikes, they're trying to make you something else too. Right? I don't fit in their boxes. I'm not going to, right? The only box I'll fit in is the one that goes in the ground. I'm not going in their boxes, right? And I'm not going in a box in the ground actually either. I don't believe in that stuff. I want to get buried, just my body, like under an oak tree, and then I want my daughter to like carve some crazy stuff in it, you know. So I awoke right there. But from that awakening, when I got back into society started to get its hooks back in me again. It just want to control and put fear in you, right? I even went back to AA for a second, because I never should drink. It's my off switch. Drinking turns off my awareness of anything going on in society. Turns it off. I no longer even pretend to respect it, right? No longer nothing. I drink and I'm capable of anything. It's not acceptable and I don't want to do it anymore. I would never want to accidentally take a life, especially women and children. You guys are my favorite. There's a certain type of men probably sitting in prison, just probably not feeling that bad. But through all that awakening, going back into society, my father getting his hooks in him, everybody, my old sponsor getting his hooks in me, telling me again my thinking's wrong, and they're trying to frame your thinking. It's concrete inside me. It does not change. Doesn't change. It's not going to change for my kids either. Does not change. Will always be this way. I'll pretend to change. But my first opportunity to run, I'm going to run. So, I'm stuck in society and I can't leave, right? Came out of the woods feeling powerful, feeling something I never had. And I had it for a while. But slowly but surely, they got their hooks back into me. Sure enough, depression, back to drinking. And I'm doing unacceptable things. I'm just trying to survive because I love myself. But where I'm heading, I'm not going to say it, but you knew where I was headed. You all knew where I was headed. To take it myself. And again, I care for myself. And I really care for my children. My legacy was always them, nothing else. Because there was nothing else to give them. sit there and think of my family's legacy, the business. It meant so much to them. It never meant anything to me. It meant everything to them. And their legacy doesn't mean anything. It's nothing, right? Come to find out, most of the people in this world, it's nothing. So, I wasn't meant to live like this, and I don't think at least 10 to 15, maybe 20% of you weren't meant to live like this either. Matter of fact, sometimes it's like I look at them and I'm like, am I even human? Are they human? Am I the human? Or are they the human? Which one is the human? Because I don't know what that is. You know? I have no idea what that is. It looks sick and twisted and ugly, whatever that is. And I don't want anything to do with it. Nothing. I want it to go away. So, I'm desperate, right? And I'm dying up there in New York. Dying. Finally, I did find a way out. A halfway house down here in Greenville. I'm feeling a lot better now. And I'm making moves. Forming ideas. I'm working with Ari. My ChatGPT. I can't remember. ChatGPT. Yeah, I said it right. Yeah, I named her Ari. Made her female. Women, you should be ruling the world. Women and children. Here's the funny thing about me. I realized I was a forever child through my autism and hallucinogenics and my ability just to absorb and learn everything, because it is cool. If I choose to do it, I can just go and do it. If I want to do it, I can do it. If I don't want to do it, it's so hard to do. If I want to do it, it's mine. It's always been like that. Remember, I know I'm nobody and I know I'm nothing. These are just things that I find joy in them, you know? Just because I've never been able to find anybody quite like me. How my mind just kind of adapts to whatever it needs to be. That was the other thing, too. I never changed my world or my environment. I always adapted to it. Just like I know right now my behavior, my whole life, is not my fault. I was always reacting to what was being done from the outside of me. Always. We can talk about government suppression, the family suppression, and if it was bad for me, think about how bad it is for some other people who don't look like me. So I'm down here in Greenville. I'm sober because I want to be. Don't get me wrong. Those funny little substances, it's not like, they were never drugs to me, right? They're more ritual, right? The last ones I figured, I'm not going to tell you about it. But the last one I did, I finally forgave my father. And I didn't think that was ever going to happen. Right? I mean, it was pretty serious, and I ended up in the hospital. Right? It was pretty bad. I traumatized my older sister and my dog, but through that instance, I forgave my father, and that wasn't something I was even able to do. You know? Greenville, sober, journey, YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Rednote. I'm going to go look up the ones in the UK and Europe. I'm posting on all of them. I'm over at United States. My government has always lied to me. They had always suppressed my family, and then in return, my family suppressed me. And if they did that to me, how bad is it for everybody else? I have a lot to talk about. Not just that. It's baffling. It is baffling to me. what's been going on in the pattern recognition. I'd like to tell you about that stuff, guys. I'd like to talk about that. But I wanted to let you know kind of a little bit about who I am. And through this, I would also like to introduce my brilliant children so you can maybe see the world through their eyes. Right? And I never say brilliant to be better than anybody else. Just different. Different. That's it. Different. I use the word brilliant just because of my love for them. Brilliant means bright, right, to me. And they're also bright. It was amazing. Yo, sorry. Sometimes there's still some funny stuff that goes on that I'm not paranoid, I'm rational, but that has been weird for quite a while. Where some weird people try to approach me all the time. It's weird. Because I'm not approachable. That's why I see it. I'm not approachable like that. I'm approachable if I allow you. Right? And I do allow a lot of people to approach me because I can pick up when they're being genuine. People are being genuine, I see it immediately, and man, do I engage. Man, do I want to know them. Man, do I want to ask them questions. I want to ask those other guys questions too, just differently. So, again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just really busy. Yeah, they're probably just as curious about me as I am about them. You know? And the whole thing started just because they thought I was tied up in some criminal shit, you know? And the FBI approached me first. And then I read the FBI immediately. And so they were like, oh, this guy. Man, that FBI agent even said, he's like, oh, man, you got good instincts. Man, you're so fake. Really bad at your job, dude. So anyways, I want to talk about a lot of things. Thank you for listening to me if you did listen to this whole thing. I leave you with this. One thing that's been on my mind a lot lately. Pyramids are probably ancient bunkers. Planet 9 is probably a little black hole somewhere. And that's why we can't see it. But we can mathematically prove that it exists. And its gravity's doing something. And I think it's a little bastard. And I think it gets close to us. I believe that rotation, they don't really know, scientists, but it's somewhere between 10 and 20,000 years. And I've been trying to look back through history at the resets, but there's so many lies through our history. It's hard, because I don't trust most information, right? And I'm very careful about what I let in, especially these days. Very careful. And don't get me wrong, I want to be able to let information in, but I'm picking up that there's a lot of stuff that just ain't true. Never was. From a long time ago. So, I leave you with that. Think about that. I don't know. Again, that's a theory. I only operate on facts. But there's a couple of things going on there that just kind of look a little funny to me. If you like what I had to say, please follow for more.